Hey there, writers. My video last week was 5 harsh truths about publishing, and so today I am going to be providing you with 5 harsh truths about writing itself. Why should you listen to me? Well, I am an author. I am both traditionally and self-published. I have 15 books out to date. I'm also a freelance editor, I'm a book coach, and I'm a creative writing instructor. So I do have quite a lot of experience both in my own writing and with helping other people write. So harsh truth number 1, as we get right into it, is that your first book may not be any good. This might not be the case. My first book, which was The Green Hills of Home, I actually self-published, and then it was taken on by a publisher later on. But it did take me a long time to write it, and I did go through an awful lot of editing with it. But it might be the case that it might take 1, 2, or even more books before you are comfortable with how good it is and that it is ready to either be self-published or to be sent off to agents or to publishers. Everybody writes at a different pace. I'm actually fairly slow when it comes to writing, and I don't have huge word counts as opposed to a lot of people that you see, especially on YouTube, who are doing these huge word count days. And if you keep comparing yourself to people who do produce a lot of words and you're just not able to, not only are you going to feel bad about yourself, but it is just such a complete waste of your time comparing yourself to other people. We all work differently and we all work at different paces. Harsh truth number 3 is that there are days when you are not going to be able to produce amazing prose for whatever reason, but having a mortgage to pay is a really good incentive to get you writing. So what I mean by this is that if you are a professional writer, somebody who relies on your income from writing to pay for your mortgage, for food, for whatever we need in life, you need to sit down and write, even if there are days when you don't feel like it. And maybe you are not going to write the most meaningful scene of your book. You're not going to write the best dialogue on those days, but you might be able to get something down and you can definitely move your story forward, and then you can go back. You can't edit a blank page, but if you've at least made notes of what needs to happen in a scene, that is something that you've got down there that you can work with. However, if you are not a professional writer and if you write just for your own enjoyment, then I would say don't force yourself to write if you don't feel like it, because it is supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be a hobby, and there's absolutely no point in making yourself miserable and forcing yourself to sit down and get those words out if you don't feel like it. Harsh truth number 4 is that you do not need a load of fancy equipment in order to write a bestseller. I see a lot of people who use all of these like special writing apps and programs and things that they pay an awful lot for, or they have beautiful fountain pens that they have to use, or they have to have a gorgeous notebook. And this all costs a lot of money, and maybe that's okay, maybe you can afford that, but if you can't, don't worry about it. You do not need any of those things. Personally, I use Google Docs when I'm writing, and then I convert the document into a Word doc to send off to my publishers, and that works absolutely fine and doesn't cost me anything. You can write a book using a pencil and a reporter's pad. You don't need to have all of this fancy stuff. However, I would say that there is definitely something to be said for treating yourself and your art to a nice notebook or a nice pen. If that makes you feel good about yourself, it's kind of showing respect for your art and showing yourself that it's important. So maybe you could ask for something like that for your birthday or for Christmas if you can't run to it right now yourself. And my final harsh truth for this video is that very few people will understand quite how important your writing is to you, especially if you are not making money from it. It's just not something that people who aren't artistic or who don't write can properly understand, and they'll see it as a little hobby and not something that needs to be put center stage, that needs to be made a priority. And that can kind of make you feel a little bit bad about yourself if you are trying to prioritize it. However, the people who do understand that it is really essential for you to prioritize your writing, those are the special people, and those are the ones that you want to surround yourself with and spend as much time with as possible. Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure that you watch my 5 harsh truths about publishing video if you haven't already, and I will be back next week with another video. I'll catch you in the next one.